Welcome. Have you ever wondered what the cast of The Goonies look like now? Click the link below.
Have you ever fell for clickbait like this? Let us know in the comments below what is the worst clickbait you've ever fallen for. Hello, we are Dermist, and this is 5 Dermist Hacks. Clickbait is effective, and we're going to be trying some more clickbaity titles along with some more experiments to try and grow this channel. Make no mistake, we're no studio masters, but we've figured out a few things recording our album that we'd like to share.
Number 1. Manually cut vocals and manually fade your audio files rather than using a vocal gate. So when I moved out from my folks and I moved into this place, the studio room that I've set up here, it's really quite echoey, and one quick hack that I figured out to get around this was to chop the vocal files manually rather than using the gate. You're getting control over the file to get a nice dry sound. Sometimes I find that gates can end up putting in audio that you maybe don't want. You've not got as much control. When recording vocals, you want them dry, no reverbs, no echoes. You want to use the reverbs that you've got on your computer because they sound lovely. Unless, of course, you've got a lovely sounding room, in which case, go for it.
Number 2, don't mix loud. I had the privilege of recording down at Air Studios in the Lyndhurst Hall. That was super exciting because I got to record in a studio where so many famous artists had recorded before. And I remember sitting in the control room and these massive monitor speakers inside the control room, but all the producer wanted to hear was through a pair of small Yamaha NS10s. Why? It was so weird, and this was one of my first ever lessons in recording. It's really easy to crank that track up to get in the zone. And although at first this may have a desired effect, all you're doing is wearing down your ears and your mind. It's heavy going on the old mind processing when you're listening to music, especially if you've been at it for more than an hour or so. The lower frequency levels are less prominent on quieter monitoring levels, and the big massive speakers are just really there for, well, the band when they want to get the vibe.
Number 3. Virgin ears. During the making of our album, I repeatedly ruined tracks and cost us more time by overworking. You know how it goes? You start working on something and you're laser focused on it because you're in a state of flow and you get carried away. Before you know it, you forget to eat, you forget to walk the dog, and Ali forgets to read his kids a bedtime story. Late night mixing can screw with your head. You need to just come back the next day or go in with fresh ears. With one of our tracks, it just wasn't happening for Ali, and we decided just to zero all the levels and just start from scratch because we just went back and forth so many times and we just got used to hearing the track a certain way. Take the track to a point, could be finishing the vocals, doing the drum part, whatever it is, and just stop there, have a break, come back to it maybe the next day or something, and go in with virgin ears.
Number 4, what's it doing there in the first place? Imagine if every song ever wrote and recorded had every instrument playing something all the way through from the track from the start to finish. If Phil Collins played his Rototom fill at the beginning of the track of In the Air Tonight, it just wouldn't be the same. Just because you played it doesn't mean it has to stay.
Ask yourself, can I hear everything? If you've got 10 guitar tracks, 2 vocal tracks, and a little bit of wobble board, you're probably going to be struggling to hear everything going on in the mix. It's probably one of 2 things. If you're happy with the levels, it needs to be EQ'd. Or, have you ever considered this? Maybe it just shouldn't be in that mix at that point. Sometimes taking things out of the mix can be so much more beneficial, even if it's just for like the last couple of beats of a bar. Just chopping it off can just poof, give you some impact when the chorus comes in or whatever part it is. Number 5. Make your track like a movie. How do you keep people's attention in a world where the average decision of whether you're going to keep watching a piece of content is only 3 seconds?
Okay, I'm going back to Indiana Jones here and Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the best obviously. The start of the movie does everything. It's straight into it. The trail guide at the beginning turns on Jones, finding the hidden tomb, booby traps, finding the lost treasure, more booby traps, reclaiming the lost treasure, and then, when you think it's all cool, the huge giant boulder scene, only to get caught by the bad guy. Now that's an intro. You can make your track like a movie, an intro that will grab you, breaks and changes that will surprise the listener and keep them wanting more.
Disclaimer, we're actually still learning this. Most pieces of great content have a start, middle and end for a reason, and it's really worth making sure that you do that to hold people's attention. So that's been our list. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to like and so give us a wee cheeky subscribe maybe. That would really help support us.
Remember to ring that bell and we'll see you next week for Dare Missed Mondays.